Well, I've heard you guys have missed my jokes. I just wanted to build the anticipation. So there was a woman that was walking along the beach when she stumbled upon a genie's lamp. And she picked it up and she rubbed it, and lo and behold, a genie appeared. And the amazed woman asked if she was going to receive the usual 3 wishes. And the genie said, nope. Due to inflation, constant downsizing, low wages, and fierce global competition, I can only grant you 1 wish. So what's it going to be? And the woman did not hesitate. She said, I want peace in the Middle East. See this map? I want these countries to stop fighting with each other. And the genie looked at the map and exclaimed, Gadzooks, lady. These countries have been at war for thousands of years. I'm good, but I'm not that good. I don't think it can be done. Make another wish. The woman thought for a minute and said, well, I've never been able to find the right partner. You know, one that's considerate and fun, likes to cook and helps with the house cleaning, remembers all of the anniversaries and birthdays, communicates well, gets along with my family, and is faithful. That's what I wish for, a great partner. The genie let out a long sigh and said, lady, let me see that stinking map. I see the couples in the audience going, oh. Okay, so today, I just love this time of year. And it's not that in Unity that we don't focus on peace and nonviolence constantly, because that's who we are in the world. It's just that this is a conscious 64-day focus on creating peace and nonviolence in our lives and in our world. And folks, is it ever a time when the world is calling? So let me give you just a little background. The Season for Peace and Nonviolence is a 64-day educational, media, and grassroots campaign commemorating the work and visions of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mohandas Gandhi. It was initially inspired in 1998 by the 50th and 30th memorial anniversaries of Gandhi and Dr. King. Living legend, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, is joining Dr. King and Gandhi as one of the peacemakers that inspired this season, also Cesar Chavez. So these beautiful peacemakers, along with all of us, as we participate in this season today, were and are dedicated to demonstrating that peace and nonviolence are powerful ways to heal, transform, and empower our lives and communities. And I just hope over the next 64 days that you will join His Holiness, spiritual leaders all over the world, and thousands of other people across the globe that are holding peace and nonviolence in this season for peace and nonviolence for our individual lives, our families, our communities, and our world. So, what is ours to do to open the way for peace to express? Well, I think for me, I needed to go back and just look at really what is peace. And there's a book that I came across by a woman named Louise Diamond, and it's called The Peace Book, 108 Simple Ways to Create a More Peaceful World. And in it, she defines peace as more than the absence of violence or conflict. Peace is a presence, the presence of connection. Peace is a state of mind and a path of action. And above all, a way of being. So peace is a state of mind and a path of action and a way of being. So it's not a thing that we need. It's not something that we can really go for or buy. But it certainly is something that we desire, isn't it? The experience of peace in our lives. And I came across a story about an ancient king who obsessed with the desire to find the meaning of peace. What is peace? How can we get it? And when we find it, what should we do with it? Were some of the questions that bothered him. So intellectuals in his kingdom were invited to answer the king's questions for a handsome reward. Many tried, but none could explain how to find peace and what to do with it. At last, someone said the king ought to consult the sage who lived just outside the borders of his kingdom. The king went to the sage and posed the eternal question. Without a word, the sage went into the kitchen and brought a grain of wheat to the king. In this, you will find the answer to your question, the sage said, as he placed the grain of wheat in the king's outstretched palm. Puzzled, but unwilling to admit his ignorance, the king clutched the grain of wheat and returned it to his palace. He locked the precious grain in a tiny gold box and placed the box in his safe. Each morning, upon waking, the king would open the box and look at the grain to seek an answer, but could find nothing. Weeks later, the sage stopped by to see the king, who humbly had to admit that he could not answer the eternal question from the grain of wheat given to him. I've been looking for an answer every morning, but I find nothing. The sage said, "It is quite simple, Your Honor. Just as this grain represents nourishment for the body, peace represents nourishment for the soul. Now, if you keep this grain locked up in a gold box, it will eventually perish without providing nourishment or multiplying. However, if it is allowed to interact with what feeds it, light, water, air, soil, it will flourish, multiply, and soon you would have a whole field of wheat, which will nourish not only you, but so many others. This is the meaning of peace. It must nourish your soul and the souls of others. It must multiply by interacting with what feeds it." So according to the story, peace multiplies and is cultivated by essential factors that call forth its expression, so it nourishes the soul. So what came to my heart is that to nourish peace, we just get to know it's possible. Do you know that peace is possible? Well, the thing is, peace is possible because peace is what we are. Your inherent nature is peace. Regardless of if you feel inner turmoil, if you have an illness, whatever is going on within your personal being, the nature of you is peace. And as crazy as it might look out there, the nature of our world, folks, is peace. The nature of every world leader is peace. Peace is possible because peace is what we are. We are that grain of wheat in the story. The fullness of the grain is found in the seed. We are already the fullness of peace within our beings, whether we feel like it or whether we're experiencing it or not. And so what we're doing in this season of peace and nonviolence is nourishing the knowing that we are divine peace. We are inherent peace. We're giving it light and water and soil. We are feeding our awareness. You know, I just don't think we're going to be able to have an experience out there of peace until we know in our being that we are peace. And there's a banner that I bought. Hint, hint, there's banners in the bookstore. They're really beautiful. I bought a banner from the bookstore, and it's hanging in my dining room of a Chinese proverb. And it says this, and I'm sure you've probably heard this. If there's light in the soul, there'll be beauty in the person. If there's beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. If there's harmony in the house, there will be order in the nation. And if there's order in the nation, there'll be peace in the world. And so the foundation of that proverb is if there's light in the soul, there'll be beauty in the person. And we can already check that box. Because there is light in your soul. You are light. And you are beauty. And so what is ours to do with that? And I know that I stand up here every Sunday morning and wave the flag of, folks, we just got to claim what we are. We just get to claim the truth of our magnificence and our light. Because the more we claim it, the more we deepen in our awareness and we do our work to remove any obstacles in the way of that claiming and that knowing, we can then step into our world and express and shine our light. How does that sound? That sound pretty good? You know, Gandhi said there's no way to peace. Peace is the way. And we are that way. And I know that last year during this season, I brought up this beautiful woman, but every single time I think about the season for peace and nonviolence, I think of a woman that touched my soul and I never even met her. It was Peace Pilgrim. Do you remember Peace Pilgrim? Little white-haired woman. She walked 25,000 miles between the years of 1953 to 1981 on a personal pilgrimage for peace. She vowed to remain a wanderer until humankind had learned the way of peace, walking until given shelter, and fasting until given food. In her course of 28 years of walking, she touched the hearts, minds, and lives of thousands of people. And her message was so simple and beautiful and profound. And this is what she said. In order for the world to become peaceful, people must become more peaceful. Among mature people, war would not be a problem. It would be impossible. In their immaturity, people want at the same time peace and the things that make war. Yes, our institutions and our leaders reflect our immaturity, but as we mature, we will elect better leaders and set up better institutions. It always comes back to the thing so many of us wish to avoid, working to improve ourselves. Ouch. Okay. So Peace Pilgrim, I believe when she was talking about mature people, what she's talking about are spiritually mature people. And folks, we grow spiritually, we mature in our understanding of who we are as we continue to look inward. We continue to not gloss over our fears, to look at why we feel disconnected from someone or something. You know, it's a call right now. Our world is calling us all to be a peace pilgrim. And I'm not talking about us leaving our homes and walking 25,000 miles. If that is yours to do, I will support you. But what it is, it's calling, her message is about us deepening our spiritual maturity to know inherently that we are peace, that peace is our nature. So if we're not experiencing peace in our being, let's look inward and let's ask, what is mine to do to feel peace? To deepen our practices of prayer and meditation, of whatever spiritual practice is yours to embrace. And to come and plant those seeds, get the seeds of peace nourished. And folks, I just feel like a commercial for spiritual community. But I tell you what, there is no place that I can walk into where I feel affirmed than standing here on Sunday morning and just sharing some thoughts from my heart with you. Because we're all on this journey together. And how beautiful it is when people come together in unity. Because I hope, I claim that when you are here, that you leave with your tank more full. That you were able to leave this sanctuary this morning, and because of the music, or because of a message, or because of the beautiful hospitality table, or something you heard from me, or just a PowerPoint slide, I don't know what it would be, or lighting a prayer, that you can be touched and you can be expanded in your knowing. You can deepen your spiritual maturity to go out in that world and hold your ground, to take a stand for peace in our world through nonviolence. Nonviolence shows up in kindness. And folks, first and foremost, that kindness is toward ourselves. And what I love about Louise Diamond's definition of peace is that it's a path of action. It's not passive. Yes, we get to do our sitting, and yes, we get to do our prayer and our meditation. And it's also a call for us to be in action. What is ours to do as peace pilgrims, as peacemakers, to open the way for a greater experience of peace in our world? I think that sounds really juicy, that we can stand as source of that. What do you think? Yeah? Really? Because, folks, I still don't understand why all Unity churches aren't full to overflowing. Because this is a place where anyone can walk in the door, and I don't care who you are, who you love, how much money you have, what color you are, what expression you are. You are loved. And there is a lot right now in appearances of separation out there based on some really silly things. So my prayer is that Unity communities are full because people feel when they walk in the door. And if you don't feel this way, I want to hear about it. When you walk in this door, that you are filled with an awareness of the truth of what you are, and that you feel loved, you feel seen, you feel heard, and then you can walk out that door and you can go out and see people and hear people and love people and be a presence of peace on the highway. You know, I'll always bring up that example because it is my growing edge. So, okay, scratch a minister, bleed a sermon. That's, because this is a passion for me, folks, especially right now. We are beautiful, whole, amazing people. And in our individual worlds, we can create peace. So, over these next 64 days, let's come together. Let's play. Let's drum. Let's sing. Let's delve into the book study. Let's finding peace in turbulent times, going to the workshops and dive in. Let's do it. Let's deepen our well that's already infinite. It's in our awareness that we're deepening. And be in action in our world. Are you ready? Yeah? Okay. All right. Let's affirm together. I am divine peace. I claim this truth and open the way for peace to express in the world. And so it is. Amen.